On the night of November 25, units of the Ukrainian armed forces, along with Special Operations Forces, coastal missile troops, and unmanned systems forces, successfully launched strikes on a number of strategic Russian targets. The attacks were carried out using Bars jet drones and Neptune cruise missiles, resulting in numerous explosions and fires, according to the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Ukrainian troops struck key Russian military and industrial infrastructure facilities. In Taganrog, Rostov Oblast, the Beriv aircraft repair plant and the Molniya UAV production facility, Atlant Aero, were damaged. Multiple explosions and large fires were reported at the plants. An A-60 experimental aircraft was likely damaged in the strike on Beriv aircraft repair plant. The plant also repairs and modernizes A-50 airborne early warning aircraft and two 95 strategic bombers. Successful strikes were carried out on the Sheskery's oil terminal in Novorossiysk and the Twops oil refinery in Krasnodar Krai. According to preliminary reports, landing ship, oil handling equipment used to refuel tankers, as well as an S-400 launcher, were hit in Novorossiysk. The extent of the damage inflicted is being clarified. Joint work by all units of the defense forces on important enemy targets will continue until the complete cessation of Russia's armed aggression against Ukraine. Krasnodar Krai Governor Veniamin Kondratyev claimed that the region was subjected to one of the longest and most massive attacks of the full-scale war. 6 people were injured and at least 20 homes were damaged in the overnight attack, he said. According to Astra's analysis, a drone struck a high-rise building located 700 meters from a Russian military unit that houses S-400 air defense systems. The unit was previously hit by drones in a strike on November 14, according to Ukraine's security service. Novorossiysk residents also posted footage of what appears to be a Russian air defense missile striking a separate high-rise building in the city. The Russian Defense Ministry later claimed that Russian forces shot down 116 drones over the Black Sea and 76 over Krasnodar Krai.
Russia is facing a command crisis that has now broken into public view. The most powerful general in the country is trapped inside a system that no longer trusts him and can no longer function without him. Jason J. Smart, expert on Ukraine, said this. According to him, General Valery Gerasimov has vanished repeatedly from high-level meetings and battlefield reports. He reappears only in short bursts of carefully edited footage that offers no real evidence about when or where the recordings were made. The confusion around him is not accidental because the Russian military command structure is tearing itself apart from the inside, the expert added. Jason J. Smart said that key deputies linked to Gerasimov have been arrested on corruption charges. These officers were responsible for secure communications, fortifications and logistics. Money intended for soldiers and battlefield protection was siphoned into private empires luxury spending, or personal real estate. The scandal has shaken the Russian military because it confirms what many suspected. The system that was supposed to run the war is sinking under the weight of theft and infighting. Battlefield failures have accelerated the crisis. Russian units are suffering from friendly fire, broken supply lines, and collapsing morale. Intercepts reveal officers begging for basic equipment that never arrives. Gerasimov cannot be removed because his firing would signal a total admission that the war has failed. Putin keeps him in place to absorb public anger and to shield the Kremlin from responsibility, the expert added. Russian military forces have failed to effectively advance along multiple axes in Ukraine, seized limited territory, lost substantial quantities of equipment relative to Ukraine, and suffered remarkably high rates of fatalities and casualties. There has been a growing chorus of policymakers and analysts who argue that the Russian military holds the initiative in the war in Ukraine and will likely triumph. Russian forces have advanced an average of only 50 meters per day in such areas as Kharkiv, slower than during the Somme offensive in World War I, where French and British forces advanced an average of 80 meters per day. Russia has lost substantial quantities of equipment across the land, air, and sea domains, highlighting the sharp material toll of its attrition campaign. Russian fatalities and casualties have been extraordinary. Russia's poor performance has likely been caused by several factors. The Russian military's reliance on dismounted infantry and mechanized forces to take Ukrainian territory, Russia's failure to use operational fires in a coordinated way that enables maneuver, and Ukraine's effective utilization of defense in depth. For the United States, increased sanctions on Russia and continuing US and European military assistance to Ukraine would likely raise the costs for Moscow of a protracted war and could facilitate peace talks. Russia has some advantages, with a substantial industrial base and an ability to mobilize a much larger number of soldiers. Nevertheless, the Russian military has struggled to conduct ground force operations at scale, overcome prepared Ukrainian defenses, or break through Ukrainian lines to achieve operationally significant gains. The Russian military has also faced challenges with force quality and the loss of experienced officers.